knew my marriage and work were out of balance, and I could not seem to figure out how to get it in balance. If that's you, I am excited you are here. In this episode, I'm going to share with you my personal experience of being out of balance with my work and marriage, the myth that I find in this concept of balancing marriage and work, and the steps that I take today to produce the powerful results I long for in my marriage and my work. I'm Julia Woods, founder of Beautiful Outcome, a coaching company committed to help couples see and understand each other so you can spend your precious time enjoying life and laughing together. I love my marriage and I love my work. The truth is, I was really kicking butt at work and I was sucking in my marriage at home. I was working 70 to 80 hours a week, literally teaching seminars on how to balance life and work because it looked good on the outside. But the truth was, inside, it was this experience of something I said I wanted. I told my husband, I told my kids, you are top priority in my life. But the truth was, it was constantly something coming up. It was the unexpected tragedy that was happening at work or this project that needed to get done. The line kept moving. I kept thinking, maybe if I get a better planner, then I'll have this balance. Maybe if I get my business to this level, then I'll have this balance. But the truth was, balancing my marriage and my work literally seemed impossible. I am excited to share with you today what has been my journey in this. I have a gift for you at the end, which will actually be a powerful resource for you to build off of what you're learning here today. So let's dive in. The truth is, I didn't have a problem balancing marriage and work. I had a problem resolving conflict. I didn't know how to produce results at home in conversations with my husband. So to be honest, it was easier to win at work than it was to win at home. When it felt like I was hitting a brick wall in conversations with my husband, I knew my clients wanted to hear what I had to say, and they seemed to see and understand me in a way he didn't. When it felt like I was saying everything wrong at home, my clients seemed to love what I had to say and wanted to buy everything I sold them. This powerful reality that I didn't know how to communicate at home made the best choice I saw available to me to want to be at work. And so it's obvious that my work was the bigger priority. And that was really hard to get to the point to admit to myself. I didn't want to acknowledge that. I wanted to live in this deception that I had this beautiful balance of my marriage and my work. But when I was willing to get honest and admit it to myself, then I had the power to change it. So I began to learn how to communicate. I began to learn how to resolve conflict with my husband. And now all of a sudden, I was a lot more passionate about my marriage. I thought, now that I'm passionate about my marriage and I enjoy my work, now I will have balance. However, I discovered the next powerful thing about balancing marriage and work. So if I'm passionate about my marriage and kids and my work, shouldn't I just naturally be able to balance them? Well, if you are passionate about your marriage and your work, how often in trying to balance them do you feel yourself or find yourself feeling like you're failing? That experience brought me to really want to look deeper at this context of balance. So balance is an equal distribution of two things. What is it in order to balance marriage and work that we're actually trying to balance? Are we trying to have an even distribution of our time, of our energy, of our passion, of our attention, of our creativity? Is it really possible to balance my attention, my time, and my energy equally across my marriage and my business? I don't think so. Think about that. How many times does your business just need more of you than what you can currently offer to your marriage in that day or that week or that season? And how many times does your marriage need more of you than what you can, than what you can give to work in that certain time? Isn't it true that if we're constantly trying to balance, if you think about what balancing looks like, I'm trying to not go too far this way, I'm trying to not go too far that way in order to stay in balance, aren't I actually playing not to lose my balance? Playing not to lose means that I am making decisions based on what would help me avoid immediate loss or help me avoid being uncomfortable. When I'm playing to win, that means I'm making decisions that are going to create the most likely outcome of winning in that moment, which means I'm willing to get uncomfortable. I'm willing to risk. I'm willing to have the difficult conversations that I need to have in order to enroll the people around me, in order to enroll my husband, in order to enroll my team at work into what wants to happen in that moment in order to win in the areas of life I'm committed to win in. When we give ourselves to what wants to happen through us in our marriage and in our work, we are going to face the tension. We're going to enter the tension. Now, if you've been following me long, you know we celebrate tension. Why? Because tension is how growth is produced. Did you know that the way a plant grows is when the root breaks through an obstacle? When a rose breaks out of its bud? When a baby is birthed, life and growth happens in tension. That's the tension that we face when we are giving ourselves passionately to both our marriage and our work. We're going to have at times projects that just need more of us. We're going to have moments in our marriage that just need more of us. We're going to have those moments where these magical things are happening in our marriage, and it just makes focusing and paying attention at work challenging. And there's going to be times where the greatness of what wants to happen through our lives is calling us up in a creative process at work, and we just need to make space for that. This is the tension. And when we are willing to embrace the tension, we're not focused on, are we in balance over here or are we in balance over here? Instead, we're being honest and present about what wants to happen through us so that we can discover what conversations are in the tension that we need to call ourselves to have, and what discoveries need to be made that I can explore with the people around me in a way that they believe in what I'm up to, and they know that I'm for them regardless of whether they're my top priority at that moment. So if we weren't trying to balance our marriage and work, what could we be doing? We could be taking personal responsibility. We could be present. We could be honest about the conversations that want and need to happen in order to make the difference I'm committed to make through my life, the impact I'm committed to have on my marriage and at my work. I would be having the hard, honest conversations like, where am I trying to control something in this arena that is actually not controllable? Where am I spending too much time on this project because it's my own need for personal significance? Or where am I using work to avoid the honest conversations I need to have? Or where am I using my marriage to avoid the honest conversations I need to have at work? It is these hard conversations that come out of being in the tension that I'm willing to have with my spouse, with my colleagues, that help develop the spouse I'm committed to be and bring about the character development within myself that needs to happen in order to make the difference I want to make in the world through the work that I do. It is not the act of balancing that is going to develop who I'm committed to become. It is the willingness to be in the difficulty, in the tension, that is going to grow me and develop me into the powerful source that life can flow through into my marriage and into my work. It happens in the powerful conversations. And again, the gift I have mentioned that's available to you at the end of this is going to help you discover exactly how to have those kind of conversations. My invitation is that you shift out of the conversation of balancing work and marriage and into the conversation of being present with what is happening now. What are the conversations that you need to have? Where are you assuming that your spouse is just understanding what's happening for you at work and they're, having no issues, or they're working through the issues they have about how many hours you are working, versus actually having the conversation with them about how they're doing with what's happening for you at work? What's the conversation that you need to have about how what's happening for you at work might be impacting what's needing to happen for your spouse and what wants to happen through them in their work? And how do you show up and hold a space for each other as you honor and respect the powerful things that want to happen through both of you? Or what's the conversation that's wanted with your clients or your boss about how committed you are to your marriage and what that looks like, and how there is something unique going on that you're committed to give yourself to, and what requests that means you have for your work or the commitments that you have there? I am learning every day where I need to make requests, where I need to be honest about what I need, and then being willing to negotiate with the people around me as we work together to live and appreciate and become the greatest version that we can in both the arena of marriage and in work. These are the hard conversations that I need to navigate. And yet it is the tension of these hard conversations that allows me to become who I'm committed to be as a spouse and as an expression of the divine in the world. It is in the willingness to have these conversations that I discover the requests I need to make in order to enroll my husband, in order to enroll my team, in order to enroll my clients into the vision of the difference I want to make, into living out something that matters in both my marriage and my work. I'm learning. I'm giving myself every day to learning how to discover what it is that I need to request in order to bring about what I want and need from the people around me. How can I enroll my husband? How can I enroll my team and my clients into what it is that I believe wants to happen through me? And as we partner together in what wants to happen through each of us, we become like iron sharpening iron, becoming the best version of ourselves, making a greater impact in the world than we ever could without each other. The gift of who you are and who you're committed to be and what wants to happen in your marriage and what wants to happen in work, they're happening for you to become the greatest version of you when you're willing to give yourself to them fully and become in and through them by navigating the hard conversations. Now I have a few requests from you. Would you take a minute to share one thing in the comments below that you're taking away from this video? Also, I want to give you access to that free gift that I talked about, which you can click here or find the link in the description below, that will help you navigate step by step how to have those difficult conversations so that you can produce the results that you want. Lastly, would you take a minute and subscribe to this video and give it a thumbs up if you found it valuable? Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next week. You are here.